Hello. So today what I'm going to do is to go through and cover maintenance routines. It was requested of me by a person in the comments section on my Havana hot tub review. So I went ahead and said, okay, I'll go ahead and kind of cover my maintenance routine on my Lazy Spa inflatable tub. Now, the first thing that I'm going to tell people when they're looking at, say, an inflatable hot tub, and I don't care if you have a Lazy Spa, M Spa, Intex, the British folks have the Clever Spa, and over here we have like the Go Plus or Go Relax ones. They're all made by Costway. Those ones are with Clever Spa, Go Plus, and Go Relax. They're all made by Costway, so they're all basically the same tub. So anyways, this is the first thing I recommend is to buy a box of additional filters. Now, obviously, times change and everything like that. I used to buy them in bulk from Amazon, but they got insanely expensive, especially with what's going on in the world right now. Surprisingly, the best place to buy them right now is actually in 2-packs at Walmart if you have Lazy Spas. They have the Type 6 filters there. Just check and make sure your local one has it in stock, or you might have to go to another one. But they do have them there for about $6 for a pair, so I get a bunch of these. Now, the reason that you do that is because you want to get a bunch of additional filters in order to change out, because with an inflatable tub, it doesn't matter if you've got a Lazy Spa, Intex, M Spa, or one of the others that I mentioned. You want to make sure that you are rotating out your filters after every use with an inflatable tub. So you can reuse them. You can just take them out and spray them down with a garden hose, let them air dry, and they're good to go. But obviously you want to have additional filters rotate in and out. And if you're using your hot tub a lot and you've only got a couple of sets of filters or whatever it might be, they're going to wear out a lot faster if you only have a couple to rotate in and out. So, because they are paper. So usually I figure a box, generally you get about a season out of them. Some people, get really crazy with the cleaning on them and stuff like that, and you can do that. But personally for me, I just find it's just best just to rinse. It's just what works for me. There's no right or wrong answer on how you clean them. It's just a matter of finding out what works for you. Some put them in dishwashers, some put them in washing machine. I've tried a couple of the different variants, and the best results have always been with just rinsing it down with a garden hose for me. So that is the first thing I recommend, is getting a whole bunch of filters here. You can rotate them in and out. What I end up doing is I end up having a spare set before I go into the hot tub. And what I'll do is, my hot tub's closed right now. I mean, you can just see it's here with the cover on. When I place the cover on over here to the side against my screen, what I'll do is I'll just put a set of filters right up there next to the cover on the edge of the hot tub. And that way I can grab them before I get out of the hot tub, swap them out, and get out. And that way it's the easiest way to change the filters is while you're actually in the tub. So I do recommend that if you're looking for ways to make it a little bit easier for you for maintenance. So the next thing is, right now I have brominating concentrate, and I do have the brominating tablets. I'm experimenting with the Chem Connect in the Lazy Spa right now. Personally, I'm not as happy with it as I thought I was going to be. The tablets don't seem to want to fit the Chem Connect very well. You only put about 2 or 3 tablets in there, and I have it on about medium flow. Dispensing wise, it seems to do an okay job as far as making sure that the tub's clean and everything, but it's just a matter of getting the tubs to fit the Chem Connect is kind of a pain. I actually had to kind of break them a little bit in order to get them to fit, so I don't know if I just got the wrong ones or what. But anyways, as I said, not as impressed with it as I thought it was going to be. My hope was to save a little bit of time over the brominating concentrate granules, where I was putting them in and then running the air jets afterwards to kind of mix them up real good. But somebody was talking to me where they pre-mix. You just get some water and you just kind of pre-dissolve the granulating tablets in water and then just add them in, and I may end up just going back to that route. The other thing I noticed is that with the Chem Connect, I could be wrong, and I'm going to test this a little bit further, but it seems like it doesn't disperse the heat quite as well with it on. Even though I know it's pretty open and everything, it just doesn't seem like the jets are as efficient at heating, so it may end up costing me a little bit more as far as electric bill. Now, one other thing I did do, and I'll show it in another video later, I did end up getting one of those spa blankets where it goes on the, it's that kind of blue bubble mat type stuff that people put over their pools and hot tubs and things like that to help insulate. So I did put that and inserted it into the lid. So I'm going to see how much of a difference that makes. And I am going to be doing some follow-up videos in the future on ways of saving electrical costs and things like that. What works, what doesn't work, or at least what I've found, what works and what doesn't work. I'm hoping I don't have to go to the full-on silver spaceship thing in order to really bring costs down on this as far as heating the tub. But who knows? As I said, I'm going to play with it a bit and see what I end up having to do as far as going crazy with insulation, or whether I'm doing good enough with a, just like the likes of a spa blanket in there to add some additional insulation. So as far as other things are concerned, I generally, in the past with my Miami, and I'm probably going to continue it with this, drained the tub completely every 4 to 6 weeks. It's generally recommended no less than 4 weeks, at least from Lazy Spa. I'm not sure on the other manufacturers, since I don't really have that much experience with them. So you may want to take a look at it and just decide what works, what they recommend. So every 4 to 6 weeks. Now, in the past, what I've done is I've just gone ahead and hooked up a garden hose to that lower outlet down there where the pump connects, and then letting it drain out to the gutter. But honestly, on the Miami, which basically is the same tub, it took so long that I'm going to end up spending 2 to 3 hours literally to drain the tub, and that's just too long. So I did go and I did buy a 1/4 horsepower submersible pump, and so when I go and do my first water change, I'm going to kind of do a comparison and see how long it takes me to drain. It should go a lot faster, which will create less downtime in turn, because it used to be I would basically have a day where I would go and drain it because, usually I'd end up having to work or something like that, so I couldn't juggle it. And then I'd have to spend another day getting it refilled and getting it warmed up again. So I'd end up with like a 2-day loss there with the hot tub being down. And I'm trying to see if I can eliminate it so that it just gets it down to just 1 day, which wouldn't be too bad. So anyways, that's what it's recommended there. Now, as far as testing is concerned, well, I'll be honest with you, I don't. When it comes to my tub, I do run bromine. I don't run chlorine, which tends to be a little more caustic, and things can get a little more scary with it than with bromine. What I've found is that if I add a spoonful of the granulated bromine, or 2 to 3 bromine tablets, and just set it on about the 2nd or 3rd setting on the Chem Connect, then it ends up running really good. So the water stays clear. You're not ending up with, rashes or anything funky, or feeling like you're getting burned going in because the pH is all out of skew or whatever it might be. So I find that between that, staying on top of the filter changes, and just either a spoonful of the granulated bromine or 2 to 3 tablets on about the 2nd or 3rd setting on the Chem Connect, and honestly, it just pretty much takes care of itself from there. So I've never really felt the need to test. I also, as I said, stay pretty regular about the recommended water changes. Some people, they'll have the same water in there other than, topping up for evaporation for like 3 to 6 months. And to me, that's just scary because there's no new water coming in. Chemicals can only in my mind, mitigate so much, dead skin, body oil, and everything, even if you're showering, rinsing off before you go into the tub. So keep that in mind, that, you don't have a fresh source of water coming into this thing. So somehow you got to get that stuff out of there, and chemicals can't do it all on their own. So anyway, that's what I would recommend. Change the water about every 4 to 6 weeks. Stay on top of, making sure you've either got, 2 to 3 tablets in the Chem Connect, or if you're using granules, use about a spoonful of it after every use, and it generally keeps everything pretty good. Now, once again, keep in mind, I don't mess with chlorine. I prefer bromine simply because I have a sensitive eye, ears, or eye, nose, throat, and chlorine, particularly when it's heated up and steaming and everything, it tends to just burn and sear those for my eyes, nose, and throat. My wife and kids are the same way, so I end up using bromine, and we just find it's a lot more pleasant and have a lot fewer problems. If you do have sensitive skin, I do recommend bromine instead of chlorine, and you do need to choose one or the other because the two of them mixed together basically kind of, mess with the balance of everything, and it's a mess. So you do need to make a decision, are you going to go with chlorine or bromine? Now, if you are currently using chlorine and you want to switch to bromine, you can do it. You just need to make sure that you drain the tub completely, spray it out real good, and then basically start over from scratch with new water in there. Then you can do that, or vice versa. If you wanted to go from bromine to chlorine, you could also do it that way as well. So, bromine it's pretty comparably priced. I think maybe it's like $1 or $2 more per bottle, for a 1.5 to 2 pound bottle. So, it's not something that, in my opinion, the cost is pretty negligible between the two. So it's a matter of choosing what's better suited for you. But if you do have sensitive skin, sensitive, nose, throat, eyes, I would say that bromine would probably be better. Bromine will dry out your skin a bit more. So, you may want to keep that in mind, whether it be, once you get done or whatever, use a moisturizer or something like that. Just keep that in mind. So anyways, that's really all I've got for basic tub maintenance, and thanks for watching.